Hi friends, and welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to talk about basically all the books that I've accumulated in the last 2 or 3 months or whatever. I've got a pretty decent stack, so I'm excited to share with you guys today on all the books that I've recently picked up. So hopefully, you've picked these up or are about to pick these up, or maybe they're on your list that you want to pick up. And if not, hopefully I've shown some other books that you'd like to add to your never-ending TBR. So without further ado, let's get started. So the first book that I'm going to talk about that I picked up was The Hexologist by Josiah Bancroft. I've heard a lot of good things about Josiah Bancroft. Goodness, you could tell it's been a long day. So this is his newest book that has come out. I think this is going to be either a duology or another series of his. He has another series that's 4 books long that I've heard wonderful things about. I have not picked that one up yet. That one I think is called Senlin Ascends. Don't quote me on that. I'll put it on the screen here, what it actually is called. But this is his newest one, and I've heard raving reviews for this. Everybody loves it. And to be quite fair, it's not that long, which is nice. So I will read the back for you. The Hexologist. Isolde and Warren Whibley are quite accustomed to helping desperate clients with the bugbears of city life. Aided by hexes and a bag of charmed relics, the Wilbys are well acquainted with the weird, and they never shy away from a challenging case. But when they are approached by the royal secretary and told the king pleads to be baked into a cake, going so far as to wedge himself inside a lit oven, the Wilbys soon find themselves embroiled in a mystery that could very well see the nation turned on its head. Their effort to expose a royal secret buried under 40 years of lies brings them nose to nose with a violent anti-royalist gang, avaricious ghouls, alchemists who draw their power from a hell-like dimension, and a bookish dragon who only occasionally eats people. Armed with a love toughened by adversity and a stick of chalk that can conjure light from the darkness, Iz and Warren Wilby are ready for a case that will test every spell, skill, and odd magical artifact in their considerable bag of tricks. So, you've got the magical setting with the hexes, with the magical charms, you've got magical creatures, and you've got a mystery, and it sounds like a husband and wife duo. This sounds perfect. I'm super excited to pick this up. This will definitely be the first Josiah Bancroft novel that I have read. So if I like this, then I'll probably pick up his other series. So the next 2 books that I picked up are part of the Dune series. I picked up Dune Messiah and Children of Dune by Frank Herbert. These new covers, I love these. And they're floppy paperbacks, which I adore. Those rigid ones drive me nuts because they break the spine and it annoys me. But I haven't read Dune yet. But I mean, basically, this is a world-renowned science fiction novel by Frank Herbert, and it's the first book became a major motion picture. The second part just came out in theaters, and I've heard nothing but phenomenal things about that. This takes place in just a distant galaxy, and you've got political scheming, you've got just all kinds of different things, and there is a little bit of, I would say, magic, because they've got these people that are called witches, or in this power or whatever. But I mean, this series I've heard is phenomenal. I've heard that some of it is slow to get into, but I mean, I believe this was written in the 80s. So it's gonna be a little tough to get through from what I've heard. But I mean, you can't not pick up Dune. It's one of the sci-fi classics. So I plan to read this series. I don't know if I'll start it this year or not, but I'm super excited that I was able to find in these new covers book 2 and book 3. Then the next 2 that I picked up, because I mean, if I'm gonna buy one, I might as well buy the second one, right? Is One Dark Window and Two Twisted Crowns by Rachel Gillick, I think. So this is considered a fantasy romance. And I'll just read the back for you as well. It sounds absolutely fantastic. I cannot wait to pick these up. So Elspeth Spindle needs more than luck to stay safe in the eerie mist-locked kingdom of Blunder. I apologize if you hear my dog. She needs a monster. She calls him the Nightmare, an ancient mercurial spirit trapped in her head. He protects her, he keeps her secrets, but nothing comes for free, especially magic. When Elspeth meets a mysterious highwayman on the forest road, her life takes a drastic turn. Bing bong. Hi! Thrust into a world of shadow and deception, she joins a dangerous quest to cure Blunder of the dark magic infecting it. Except the highwayman just so happens to be the king's own nephew, captain of the most dangerous men in Blunder, and guilty of high treason. I mean, you can tell there's gonna be a romance, obviously. And then there's that magic and mystery and epic quest. So this is gonna be perfect. I will probably marathon these, to be fair. I mean, they're not too long. So yeah, super excited to read these. The next book I picked up is the next book in Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies series, and it is the Map of the Other Lands. And this is hardback. The other book I got is a paperback, but it is a Barnes & Noble special edition. But this one, I liked this one more. So, and I was a little worried that, I know they don't match per se, but I liked the first one in the Barnes & Noble's cover, and I liked this one the way it was. So, you know, it's all about your taste, okay? But this one is just the sequel to Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies, and I will probably be marathoning these as well. I've heard that, you know, the first one, it's cozy, it's nice, it's you know, that fantasy romance kind of thing, but not to the extent of like ACOTAR or Fourth Wing by any means on the romance level, but just nice, good romance that's, you know, cozy. So I'm super excited to pick these up. The next one I got is also a sequel. And this one I did pick up is the Barnes & Noble's exclusive edition. I do have to take the damn sticker off. And real quick, Barnes & Noble's, quit putting stickers on your shit. It ruins the cover. Anyway, this is The Prisoner's Throne by Holly Black. It is the second book of her Stolen Heir is the first book. So probably marathon these two. I mean, might as well, right? So I to be quite fair, I didn't necessarily like her trilogy, the Cruel Prince trilogy. I liked the last book the best. The first two, I could barely get through them, but I'm glad I did because the third book was definitely worth it. But this duology follows, I believe, their brother, like the young brother, I think. So like I kind of want to know what happens. So I'm really hoping that these are really good, because I want to like it. I really do. So probably gonna marathon those. I'm super excited about it. Hopefully I stay excited after I read them. If not, you'll hear my thoughts. Next two books I got in my Broken Binding book box subscription. So it's the Hanged God trilogy by Filled Cold Holt. And so the first one is called Northern Wrath. This is part 1. And part 2 is Shackled Fates. I will get the third one later on this month. So then that'll be complete. And I'm just going to show you this because I am super excited. So the sprayed edges, as soon as I get the third one, the tree will be complete. Like, isn't that just, oh my goodness. To be quite fair, I don't know what this is about. I really don't. And they didn't put the, synopsis on the cover. So we're just gonna not know anything about it. I will read the back of the first one though. And it says, honor the dead, remember their names, see their faces, and speak of their ways. So, I mean, it sounds really interesting to me. And then, I'll read the back one of the second one. This one's kind of cool. A giant lays dead in the hall of fates. Now let the word spread and open the gates. So, I don't know. I'm excited. I'm really excited. I have that book subscription box because I want to like branch out a little bit in other fantasy works, and trust me, I've gotten some things that I would have thought to never pick up yet. Have I picked any of them yet to read? No. But I need to. So I'm going to here soon, I promise. Everything else I'm going to show you I got from Book of the Month. This is not sponsored by Book of the Month, but I love their book subscription box. I mean, you get one nice hardcover book for $9.99. Is it $9.99? No, it's more than that now. I forget what it is, but it's cheaper than what you would buy a normal hardback book, and you can add on for $9.99, I think, or now it's $10.99. But you used to be only able to add on 2 books. You can add on 4. Like, so if you wanted to get 5 books a month, you could. But yeah, so all of these are from February and March. I just got March's box today. So here's the first one. This one is called Heartless Hunter by Kristen Ciccarelli. I apologize if I butchered your name. But let's read the synopsis. On the night Rune's life changed forever, blood ran in the streets. Now, in the aftermath of a devastating revolution, witches have been diminished from powerful rulers to outcasts, ruthlessly hunted due to their waning magic, and Rune must hide what she is. Spending her days pretending to be nothing more than a vapid young socialite, Rune spends her nights as the Crimson Moth, a witch vigilante who rescues her kind from being purged. When a rescue goes wrong, she decides to throw the witch hunters off her scent and gain the intel she desperately needs by courting the handsome Gideon Sharp. He's a notorious and unforgiving witch hunter, loyal to the revolution, and too late, Rune realizes she might be falling for him. Gideon loathes the decadence and superficiality Rune represents, but when he learns the Crimson Moth has been using Rune's merchant ships to smuggle renegade witches out of the Republic, He inserts himself into her social circles by pretending to court her. He soon realizes that beneath her beauty and shallow facade is someone fiercely intelligent and tender who feels like his perfect match. Except, what if she's the very villain he's been hunting? So, fantasy romance, one of my favorite. But it also seems to me like it'll be dual POV back and forth between Rune and Gideon. So that's really exciting. If it's done right, I love it. If it's not, then I prefer like one POV and either in first person or third person. But I've heard great things about this, so this is definitely up in my TBR. Next one is The Foxwife by Yangsi Chu. This one, I picked it up because I've heard other booktubers talk about it, and it sounds super exciting and super interesting too. It like takes the historical fiction part of it and the myths and has created this story, and I love that. So the synopsis of this one reads: Manchuria, 1908. In the last years of the dying Qing Empire, a courtesan is found frozen in a doorway. Her death is clouded by rumors of foxes, which are believed to lure people by transforming themselves into beautiful women and handsome men. Bayo, a detective with an uncanny ability to sniff out the truth, is hired to uncover the dead woman's identity. Since childhood, Bayo has been intrigued by the fox gods, yet they've remained tantalizingly out of reach until perhaps now. Meanwhile, a family who owns a famous Chinese medicine shop can cure ailments, but can't escape the curse that afflicts them. Their eldest sons die before their 24th birthday. When a disruptively winsome servant named Snow enters their household, the family's luck seems to change, or does it? Snow is a creature of many secrets, but most of all, she's a mother seeking vengeance for her lost child. Hunting a murderer, she will follow the trail from northern China to Japan, while Bayo follows doggedly behind. Navigating the myths and misconceptions of fox spirits, both Snow and Bayo will encounter old friends and new foes, even as more deaths occur. So, like, it takes some adventure and history and mystery, magic, and weaves it all together, and to me it just sounds like a fantastic time. So I can't wait to read this. This is also going to be moving up in my TBR because I'm gonna have to. It sounds too good to let sit on my shelf for too long. I also got Ruthless Vows by Rebecca Ross. So I have Divine Rivals on my list for March to read. So depending on how good that is, I might push this up to marathon. But like, I'm super excited. I love this cover. I think both covers coincide super well together. The first one is basically a cozy read, and it's about a war with the gods and journalism and pen pals. But the pen pals are really enemies, but they don't know that they're writing to each other. She thinks she's writing to her brother. So like, I'm super excited to read this. I think it's going to be so good, and I can't wait to tell you guys about it. I also got Ali Hazelwood's Check and Mate. This is her YA debut in romance. So I'm excited to see kind of how she spins it. I've read everything else that she's come out with, like novel-wise. I have not picked up her newest one yet, which I believe is a romantasy book. So I'm excited to see if I like this. I'm sure I will. Because I love everything that she puts out. It's just, you know, when you read a lot of dark, heavy fantasy, sometimes you need some light reading, and Ali Hazelwood is light reading, and I like that. So the books I got today in my book box, super excited, especially for the last one we're going to talk about. Like, oh, my goodness. So the first one is All the Light We Cannot See. This just got made into a motion picture, I think, and it takes place in World War II, I believe. Yes. And Paris. And it, you know what? I'll just read the synopsis for you because I forget, but I saw it and I had to get it. Mary Laure lives with her father in Paris near the Museum of Natural History, where he works as the master of its thousands of locks. When she is 6, Mary Laure goes blind, and her father builds a perfect miniature of their neighborhood so she can memorize it by touch and navigate her way home. When she is 12, the Nazi occupy Paris, and father and daughter flee to the walled citadel of Saint Malo, where Mary Laure's reclusive great-uncle lives in a tall house by the sea. With them, they carry what might be the museum's most valuable and dangerous jewel. In a mining town in Germany, the orphan Werner grows up with his younger sister, enchanted by a crude radio they find. Werner becomes an expert at building and fixing these crucial new instruments, a talent that wins him a place at a brutal academy for Hitler Youth, then a special assignment to track the resistance. More and more aware of the human cost of his intelligence, Werner travels through the heart of the war and finally into Saint Malo, where his story and Mary Laure's converge. So it's historical fiction, and it sounds like it's got, I don't know if there will be a romance between those two or if it'll just be more of a friendship. And I'm excited to kind of see how the author takes this historical time period and how she builds these characters from it. So I am super excited to pick this up. Next one I picked up, and partly because there's the book, they've got the choice awards for book of the month, and this was a runner-up. And one of the booktubers that I watch, she read this for her book club that she's in, and she thought it was really interesting. This is literary fiction, and basically it's called Shark Heart, a love story by Emily Habeck. And basically it's a book about a husband and a wife and the trials and tribulations of what they have to go through, and together but also separately, because her husband is turning into a shark. So I don't know if literally turning into a shark or if, like, in this book he is turning into a shark, but it's obviously it means something else. But so it's not high up on my TBR. None of like these type of books are, but I was intrigued by it, and I like the cover. So I will have to let you know how I like it. I'm sure it's phenomenally written. Most people who write literary fiction write beautifully. So I'm just assuming, but I bet it's got great writing, and the book itself is probably phenomenal. So I'm excited to read it and then review it later on. The last book we're going to talk about, and one of my I don't want to say most anticipated release, because I didn't really do that. But I'm like super stoked for this book. It just sounds phenomenal. I'm excited. And when I saw that it was a pick for book of the month, I said, put it in my box immediately. So this book is called A Fate Inked in Blood by Danielle L. Jensen. And it is book 1 in Saga of the Unfated. So this will obviously be a series. Will it be a duology, a trilogy, or more books than that? We will yet to see, but I am excited. So let's read the synopsis. Bound in an unwanted marriage, Freya spends her days gutting fish but dreams of becoming a warrior and of putting an axe in her boorish husband's back. Freya's dreams abruptly become reality when her husband betrays her to the region's Jarl, landing her in a fight to the death against his son, Joran. To survive, Freya is forced to reveal her deepest secret, She possesses a drop of a goddess's blood, which makes her a shield maiden with magic capable of repelling any attack. And it's been foretold that such magic will unite the fractured nation of Scotland beneath the one who controls the shield maiden's fate. Believing he's destined to rule Scotland as king, the fanatical Jarl binds Freya with a blood oath and orders Jorn to protect her from their enemies. Desperate to prove her strength, Freya must train to fight. And learn to control her magic, all while facing perilous tests set by the gods. The greatest test of all, however, may be resisting her forbidden attraction to Jorn. If Freya succumbs to her lust for the charming and fierce warrior, she risks not only her own destiny, but the fate of all the people she has sworn to protect. Like, that is so unique, super exciting. I mean, gods and being a shield maiden and forbidden love. Like, I need to read it today. So, and look at that cover. It's gorgeous. I'm super excited. So yeah, I've got lots of books here. I can't wait to read them and review them all. I'm stoked about that. And of course, this will not be the last book haul video that you see. So stay tuned for more. Don't forget to comment down below what kind of books have you recently got. I would absolutely love to know. And don't forget, like, subscribe, and be good people.
When you feel it's hopeless, when you think that you lost,